So we recently just got back from a family camp that we took this summer. We had been there for a couple of summers in a row before COVID, and then COVID hit, so we hadn't gone back. But this was our first year back. It's a family camp where the kids get to go off with counselors for half the day, and then the parents kind of get their time alone, and all your meals are cooked for you, and there's like a little art grove, and you're just surrounded by nature, which is absolutely beautiful. So we went there with some other family members, and it was amazing. It is really dirty and you have to be able to sleep with a lot of bugs around you. They're just sort of like these little canvas covers that go on a little frame. So I don't normally sleep the first couple of nights because there's spiders and bugs and stuff, and then I kind of get used to it. But it is an amazing escape, and I really wanted to make sure that I brought my art kit with me so I could do some drawings. And I was lucky enough to be able to take along and try out this little art roll from Lochby. They sent it to me a couple of weeks prior, and I was like, oh, it's going to be perfect to take on this little trip. Yeah, so I just wanted to take a quick look at it with you guys in case you're interested in something like this for yourselves. All right, so I've been using this for a couple of weeks now, maybe a month or two. And I am really enjoying it. So I just wanted to go over the features of it and how I use it, maybe some possible improvements. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. So this clasp. This is kind of a interesting clasp. I think it looks really beautiful. It's sort of really lovely designed. It has these gorgeous curves. It looks heavy duty. It's not super heavy, but it is definitely really strong. It's not going to break or bend. But I found it really difficult to clasp in the first place. And I think it was due to this not being kind of stretched out, and not this canvas here not being as flexible as it is now. Maybe that I didn't have it fully extended, a lot of different things. But I think if you get yourself one of these, it's a little bit of a learning curve. But what I figured out is kind of making a bit of a dent where you're going to put it in. So it's sort of just making, it's really hard to explain, but you want to sort of have it at an angle to get it in and out, and then it is super duper easy. So that was kind of the key to that. And every now and then I will not know how to do it and my brain won't work, but most of the time if I sort of have it at that angle, then it is pretty simple. But I know you're probably going to fight it when you first get it, but once you get it, you get it. Okay, so then we have this strap here, and I have it fully extended because I have a bunch of stuff in here, so you may not need to fully extend it, but I think when you're closing it, it's the easiest thing to do, and then you can sort of tighten it if you need to. So let's open it up and have a look. So this is the stuff I have in it right now. I have switched and swapped a bunch of stuff from my first testing, but this is currently how I have it set up. So let's have a look. So first of all, you have a little mesh pocket here with a zipper, which is really handy for carrying your little tiny things. So in here I have my little mini palette here. So this just magnetizes together. I have like the little cheat sheet of the colors here. I normally just leave this on the table if I'm working, or I'll clip it to a sketchbook if it's a bigger sketchbook. But this is just fits in here perfectly. It is a very tight fit, but definitely zips up, no problem. And then I have my two little vials of water. This one's for dirty water and this one's for clean water. I tend to just use, when I'm out and about, I tend to use a water brush. So I don't use this water too much, but I do like to make little splats on my paintings. So I have like a little travel brush here, and having the clean water is essential so that you can make a good mix of the color that you want. So I have that little guy. So these two bottles of water fit in here, these little vials of water. And then I also have my rubber cement eraser here for getting rid of the masking fluid. So that all fits in there nicely and zips up, which is great. Then in here, these I thought would be super annoying, and they are right now because I haven't folded them under, but you can just fold them under. They're very flexible, and when you're working on a flat surface, I find that really convenient, and they're out of the way and you can access all of your tools. So the interior here, you can see, has this really nice sort of hexagonal pattern on here, sort of like a beehive. I think with the color it's really nice. It's sort of a shiny, maybe nylon fabric. It does get marks on it, but you know, it's an art kit, so I don't really care. But I think it's a really nice aesthetic. And I went with the brown. They have a black and a blue as well. But I thought the brown, you know, because I do a lot of sort of nature drawing and stuff, would be great because it wouldn't collect a bunch of dirt. And if it did, I wouldn't really care. Also, because it's a wax canvas, you're going to get scratches on it. So I thought with the black, it would just be too busy once it got dirty, and I think it would probably attract more dust. So I think this is the perfect colorway. I think they did a beautiful job in matching these two colors together. I really, really like it. Down to the layout of this. So let's just put that at the top. So it has these little elastic bands here. Now, everybody's usage case is going to be different. Everybody's needs for this is going to be different. So any criticism that I have is just my point of view. These might be perfect for your tools. You may not want any improvements, but I think for my needs, I find the bigger loops here a little inconvenient. I just kind of don't love how when you take one tool out, this either comes with it or it's just sort of sitting in here loosely. So that's just my personal preference. It's not a huge deal breaker by any means. These are nice and tight, so it definitely fits stuff in there well. It's just that potential of little tools kind of floating around. So there's also 3 pockets at the back here behind all your tools. And I had kind of mixed feelings about these because I really wanted to be able to fit my journal. I have this other journal here with the drawing book in it, and neither of those fit because they're just too sort of fat to fit in it. The Hobonichi little notebooks, that kind of the A6 ones, kind of fit, but not really. So I think you could fit maybe a field notes in the back here. I think you could probably fit like a passport size one too. Actually, give me 1 second. So I was just going to grab my passport because I don't have like a traveler's notebook passport size, but yeah, so you could fit probably a passport size in there. So not that I would be putting my actual passport in here, but something, a little notebook that is pretty thin and about this size is definitely going to fit back in here. What I use it for is paper towels, but it's kind of awkward getting these in and out of there, so I don't tend to use these back here. And actually Lochby sort of contacted me after sending me this to have a look at, and they were asking me how it was going, and I mentioned that I didn't really find a good use for these back pockets because they were just so small, but I didn't think about carrying pencils back there, but I think they might be perfect for that. So I took this out. Oh, so they're not, okay, so it's too long to fit big long pencils back here. So that idea, not great, but you could probably put pens back there. Yes, okay, so I could do all of these little Faber-Castell Pit Artist brushes would probably be great back there. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. So I could put all of these kinds of ones that have these little clips on them, put them back there. Would this one fit too? That one doesn't fit, but my pen could fit. And then I could still put this in here and feel as though I've used this area. So that could be good, although will it close? Yep, it'll close. Okay, so maybe I take back my comment about this not being a useful area because I can definitely put stuff in there. Okay, well that's pretty cool. So again, you know, it all really depends on what kinds of materials you want to carry, how you're using it, as to how much you're going to love this tool roll. Even without discovering that, I think I'm really liking it. So yeah, actually this is good. So I could put some more tools in here. Let me grab something else. So let's see, paintbrushes. So paintbrushes, not going to fit. These are too long. Even though watercolor brushes aren't normally very long, I think you've got to stick with the travel ones So if you use a lot of sort of markers and pens, I think they would fit really well in the back there. You just have to be conscious of where you're putting them so that you can roll it the way that you want. I think if you're completely rolling, then you can do whatever you want. And it does definitely roll up, and you can tighten that strap, and that's great. Okay, so I just shoved a bunch more stuff in here now that I can use this back pocket here. I just wanted to kind of stuff it to the max. So let's see if it still rolls up with that. So this might be a little difficult to close because we don't have that ease, but oh yeah, okay. So that's great. So you can fill it pretty much. I wonder, for maybe a future improvement, they could make this strap a bit longer, and then you would have more ability to stuff it with whatever you want. I guess maybe you don't want to overstuff it, I'm not sure, but I think it would be easier to close with a little bit more and open with just a little bit more ease if you had more length. Also, I just wanted to show you that you can actually fit like a little palette in here, but you can't really have all of this other stuff in here. So on their website, they show like a little palette like this being put in this middle pocket, but with all this stuff in here, it kind of makes it stick out a little bit. I mean, elastic does work, but then if you were rolling it, it becomes real bulky. So you can do it, but it's kind of makes it really difficult to open because there's no wiggle room there. I think you can sort of max it out, but it kind of compromises the ease of use. So lots of room, but whether you want to use it all is up to you. Okay, so the other things that I have in here, just to show you, I have 2 fountain pens. This one has black ink. This has a sort of homemade sepia ink from some sketch inks that I have. I have 2 little travel watercolor brushes. Again, I don't tend to use these as much as my water brush when I'm doing sketching, but I do like to use them for like the splats. So if I'm drawing stuff, I like to have these little dots, and the water brushes are terrible at doing that for some reason. You just can't get these little dots on here. So I like to carry this. Sometimes I'll just do it when I get back home if I don't feel like, you know, splatting out in the wild, but most of the time it's nice just to kind of finish the painting, and I'll do a couple of little splats on there. Yeah, so I found it really convenient. I've actually had this on my lap while I'm drawing. I've had it on a bench. Again, if I have it on my lap, I kind of keep this flap up just so that things aren't falling out. I will sometimes also use the clip. Where did that clip go? Use this clip to actually clip down the top so that it doesn't flip back and forth when I'm trying to use it. Actually, I normally kind of do it over there. And yeah, so I think for my case use, I really like it. I am thinking about actually getting a different little palette than this, because even though I do love this little palette, it is quite a chunky profile. So I had this little business card holder from, I don't even know what Dom Benedictine is. But I've had it for years and years and years. And so I think I'm going to try and put like a magnet in here. I have some little eyeshadow things, which I'm just going to stick to it. I've seen a bunch of people converting these business card cases to that, but I do want to actually invest in an artist toolkit because they look absolutely beautiful, and maybe getting the bigger size. But I do want to just try this out to see whether it's something that I like, if I can work from it. So I thought, because I had these materials at home already, I thought I might as well make it. But I think I'd probably store it in this, and I could definitely fit one of those in the pockets there. I think that would be great. So yeah, we can shove some other bits of paper back there. I guess I could put some paper back there, but I think if you're rolling it or folding it, you got to be worried if it isn't in a book form, it may get kind of crumpled up in there. But yeah, these flaps are great. They really do keep everything sort of held in there. I don't fear about anything falling out at all. I did worry about the book falling out, but I realized having it there with the 2 flaps holding it and then this strap across it, there's no way that's falling out. There's just no way for it to fall out. I mean, unless you really shook the crap out of it, but I think it would be pretty. It has not fallen out on me yet. So thanks again to Lochby for sending this out to me to try. I really appreciate it, and I've had fun using it. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.